Yo, what's up, dude?
What's up, man?
Welcome back. How was Vegas?
Vegas was good. Vegas was
Yeah. So I was thinking we could do our coaching session on the way over, if that's cool with you.
Yeah, as long as you got my money. Thank you.
So the $10 straddle's on, under the gun opened to 30.
2 hours later.
So he opened under the gun and then called my $100 3-bet with 6-4 and naturally just fucking spiked 2 pair.
1 eternity later.
Card in the deck, the ace of hearts. I have 2 black kings. But I'm like, this turn absolutely smashes my range. So I tank for a little bit and jam.
Eventually.
So then I'm like, there's no way he can have aces here. He just flattened my 3-bet out of position. Like, there's no way that this guy is this bad. And then, are you seriously asleep right now?
Be more aggressive.
All right, guys. I'm just going to address the elephant in the room. I haven't posted in over a month. There's a lot of speculation that I've gone broke and I suck at poker and I'll never make it and stuff like that. These statements are completely unrooted in reality. The truth is, I've just been a little busy, guys. I've been enjoying my summer. It was Miss GTO's birthday. We've been going away. And yeah, my lack of uploads has nothing to do with the 8 buy and downswing I was on during this month, okay? Simple as that. I'm not quite broke yet, but unfortunately my backers are. I'm more or less a poker indentured servant to these people. But honestly, it's not too bad. It just gives me a little more motivation to play my best poker. With that out of the way, we can get into some poker hands. This session starts off with 8-6 offsuit in the big blind. There's 3 limps to me, and I check my option. Off to a flop of King 6-6 rainbow. The small blind checks, I check, and then the cutoff bets $10. The button and small blind fold, and I elect to flat here. On a board this dry, anyone's only ever check raising with a 6. You should really only be raising if you can also have bluffs in a spot. Like, there's 0 combinations of bluffs. I just flat, and we're going to evaluate a turn. The turn's a great card. It's the 5 of spades, bringing in backdoor straight and flush draws. I check, and my opponent bets $15. On this card, I can be raising a ton of stuff, not only 6x, notably backdoor straight and flush draws. This is also a great spot because we practically know exactly what the cutoff has, and that's King X, so we can size accordingly. I make it $50 to go. He thinks for a second and sticks in the call. The river bricks off. It's a 3 of diamonds, and it's time to target hands like King 9 through King Queen. We send a stack of red chips in the middle. The cutoff thinks for like 2 seconds and makes the call. We show, and we're good.
No, I need one more 6.
The very next hand, we pick up a slight upgrade to the 8-6 offsuit in the form of Ace King of Spades. There's 3 limps to me, and I squeeze up to $20. Only the cutoff makes the call, so we're heads up to a flop of King 8-3, 2 clubs. In these single raise pots out of position, I'm checking range. Here's no different. I check, and the cutoff bets $20. With the cutoff having about $250 behind, I think this is a perfect spot to check raise. We could be bluffing with a club draw, but we're not. We're going for pure, unadulterated value, charging other King X, clubs, maybe pocket pairs like queens. No, that doesn't make any sense. Who would ever limp call with pocket queens in late position? We bump it up to $60. The OMC thinks for a second, says, I believe you, and flips over pocket queens and throws them into the muck. It's funny, me and GTOJ were literally having a conversation in the car about how these limp callers have a stronger range than my 3-bet range because they'll limp call with hands like jacks, queens, ace king, ace queen, all these ridiculous hands. And within 5 minutes, my hypothesis was proven correct, but I guess I got owned. He lost a minimum. If we get it all in pre like we're supposed to, he'd be heading home right now to take a bath. Instead, he gets to live on, fight another day, and lose his $250 to someone else. So, kudos to you. Well played, sir. Nice hand. A few hands go by. I'm in the cutoff. There's a hijack open to 10, and I peel pocket kings. This is widely considered by many experts the second best starting hand in Texas Hold'em. These cowboys right here, they don't play around. And neither do I, guys. I bump it up to 40. And then things get a little weird. The big blind cold calls the 40, and the hijack comes along as well. So we're going to be 3 ways to a flop. It comes 10, 6, 3, 2 spades. The weirdness continues. The big blind now leads out for $20. This is the same guy that limp called with pocket queens. The hijack, who's nursing a short stack, jams for 60, and I think I only have one move here. I jam for $220 effective. I'm trying to get the chips that I should have gone last hand right now. Unfortunately, he folds pretty quickly. I decide to table the kings. The hijack tables his hand as well. We're up against ace queen of spades, so looks like we're flipping here. The turn's a 9 of clubs, and the river is a heart, but it's the ace of hearts. We lose, but honestly felt like a win. Usually in these situations, I'm losing like a stack or a stack and a half, so losing $100 here feels like a win. We'll take it. On to the next one. Action folds to me on the button, and I peel 9, 7 of spades. This is widely considered by many experts the best starting hand in Texas Hold'em. I bump it up to $15. And what's this? Aggro Fish GTOJ 3-bets me to 60? The big blind senses the big pot energy, mucks his cards, and actions on me. He's sitting directly to my left, but I still make him move his hand so I can better see his stack. Ask how much he's playing. He tells me $500. According to my calculations, that means we're about 250 big blinds deep, 9-7 suited, going to qualify in position. I stick the money in, and we're off to a flop. It comes king, jack, 6, all spades. That's what we're talking about. Flopping a flush against the most aggro fish in the Northeast. This is what dreams are made of, guys. Jay continues for $30. I think about raising, but I got too big of a fish on the hook. Don't want to scare him off. We're going to reel him in slowly and take him for all he's worth. I stick the money in, and we're off to a turn. The turn comes the king of diamonds. This card brings in 5 credible full house combinations, 3 of pocket jacks, 2 of king jack suited. My excitement to worry ratio has gone from like 10 to 1 to 8 to 1 on this card. He does have credible full houses, but like I said, he's an aggro fish. If he has a full house, I'm just going to have to pay him off and demand 5 free coaching sessions or something like that. But again, not too worried. Jay bets $90, and I know he's just sizing up for an all-in on the river. So I make the smooth call, and the river comes in offsuit 10. Jay goes into the tank. I think I'm just going to let the audio ride here and let you guys be fully immersed in this massive pot between 2 titans of Northeast poker.
The best joke of the day, though. What is it? Well, you came over to tell us Pee Wee Herman died. I said, yeah, I heard he died of a stroke. You probably... don't get that, you're too young. I got straight.
That's right. I snap call. He flips over ace queen for Rivered Broadway. I show the goods, and we're going to go ahead and stack our coach here, guys. What a hand. Expertly played by me. I think we can all agree on that. If you have something else to say, leave it in the comments section, and I'll explain to you why you're misinformed.
Got you paid. I see that check. I wasn't gonna pay.
Here we have ace 5 offsuit in the big blind. Jay opens under the gun. There's 3 callers to me, and I complete for $8 more. We flop pretty good. Ace 8-3 with 2 clubs. So top pair, backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw. I check, and Jay throws out a bet of $25. Action pretty quickly folds to me, and Jay's a very solid player. As much as I make fun of him, he is very good at this game, and he's not going to be betting into 4 people like a fish with anything less than ace queen in this spot. I obviously can't fold quite yet. with all my backdoor draws. I can hit 2-pair, cooler him, so I stick the money in. The turn's the deuce of spades, bringing in that backdoor straight draw I was talking about. I check, J bet 60. Again, I'm pretty sure I'm beat here, but I can't really fold my hand, I don't think. So I stick in the call. And the river's the beautiful 4 of spades, so we go runner for the wheel. I put J on ace king or ace queen, and again, he's a solid player. I don't think he's going to value bet that on the river, so I decide to donk out here, target those hands. I make it $100 to go, and J seems generally unpleased by this maneuver. He goes, the only hand you can have is 5x of clubs, but I'm there thinking, what about ace 5, buddy? I got that as well. And he doesn't think for too long, pays it off. I show him the ace 5. He goes on tilt, not only because he lost a pot, but because his student is a fish who just sucked out on him. He later tells me he had ace king. Sorry, buddy. About an hour passes before I pick up 6-4 of clubs in the cutoff. With action folding to me, I open to $10, and only the button makes the call. Unfortunately, the button is no longer GTOJ. He got called for 2-5, and his seat was taken by what seems to be like a new, unexperienced player. He sat down with $100, did some pretty weird stuff with it. Nevertheless, the blinds fold, and we're heads up to a flop of king 6-4 with 2 spades. Running pretty good today, guys. Don't know what to say. I've been running really bad recently, so this is pretty nice. Single raise pot out of position. I check, and he quickly checks back, unfortunately. So we're off to a turn, which comes an inconsequential offsuit 3. I throw out a bet of $10. He doesn't think too long before making the call. The river's an offsuit 8, more or less a brick. Yes, it brings in a few more straights, but I'm going for value. I make it $25 to go, and then the button jams for $80 total. This is kind of a weird spot. I think I could very easily be beat here by a better 2-pair, a straight. Who knows? I'm still never folding, though. I stick the money in and saw a hand I didn't expect to see. Ace 8 of diamonds. So, very interesting. Not sure exactly what was going on, but that's live poker. Glad I can capture stuff like this for you guys.
Yes, 4. I didn't get that one.
I'm back there. That's right. How to get back there.
Very hot, right?
All right, we're sat on the button, facing 3 limps in peel, 10-8 of hearts. Limping is not part of GTO optimized poker strategy, so we're going to go ahead and bump this up to $20. This hand plays really well, especially in position. We get a call from the under the gun limper and the low jack, so we're going to be 3 ways to a flop. It comes 7-4-3 with 1 heart. Under the gun decides to donk out for $20. This guy sat down like an hour ago, but we already have some history. We played in a couple pots where I check folded, and he kind of chirps me. He goes, "Wow, you're just going to nurse that big stack? Like, are those chips even in play?" As someone who considers himself one of the great aggro fish of the Northeast, this is a huge insult. Anyone who's ever played with me knows my chips are always in play. Okay, come and get them. I welcome any and all action. That's not nearly the worst part, though. He looks at me and asks, "Do you have a little bit of a British accent?" And I don't know if he was trying to get in my head, if this is some type of old school angle, but this was like the most rattled I've ever been at a poker table. I go, "No, I'm a red-blooded American, pal. Do you have a British accent?" So yeah, after those interactions, definitely trying harder to own this guy than I would a normal opponent. All right, now that we got that completely necessary and not unhinged tirade out of the way, we can get back to the hand. The low jack folds, and action's on me. I have 2 overs, backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw. Against 1/3, I think I can continue here sometimes, fold other times, but this opponent has proven to be pretty splashy, so don't mind getting involved with him and seeing a turn. I stick in the call, and the turn's a great card. It's the 9 of spades. I have now achieved an open-ended straight draw. My new friend doesn't slow down. He bets 50 of his $175 stack. If our 10 is live, we have 11 outs, and that puts us right around 25% equity against a hand like 7-8. So against this half pot bet, pretty much a break-even call. With $125 still to play for, this is a pretty obvious call in my opinion. We stick the money in, and the river comes the 5 of hearts. This card brings a 4-liner to a 6, and under the gun now decides to check. I'm now putting him on a hand like 7x, and this runout really sucks for that portion of his range. I don't know exactly what I'd be repping here, but I'm pretty sure he's capped at 1 pair, and I think I can get that to fold if I jam. And I have 10 high, and this guy chirped me for mailing it in. Oi mate, I'm all in. Give me those chips. He seems disturbed by this, and eventually makes the fold, so we get this one through. Yeah, I don't know. I think the play is probably fine. I don't think I can check down 10 high there. He asked to see my cards. I gladly show him the bluff. And yeah, we're going to take down a nice little pot. Next, there's a low jack open to 10, and I peeled jack 10 offsuit in the cutoff. I'll be the first to admit this hand is just a fold, but I make the call. I think I'm just up tilting a little bit after winning a ton of hands, and yeah, not great. I stick the money in. The big blind comes along, and we're off to a flop. It comes 8-9-6 with 2 spades. This is a pretty great flop. I have 2 overs, open-ended straight draw. The big blind checks, but the original raiser continues for $25. Nothing to do here except for call, I think, so that's what I do. The big blind gets out of the way, and we're off to a turn. It comes a 2 of clubs, bringing in a second flush draw. The low jack now sizes down a little bit. He bets $35. Getting a great price to realize my equity, I make the call, and the river comes a board pairing 8. The low jack fires a third bet, and again, it's pretty small, only $50. I think this should just be a fold, but in game, I didn't think he was that strong. Betting big on the flop, small on the turn, and then small on the river makes it feel like a missed flush or straight draw to me. I don't have a 7 or a spade, so I don't block my opponent from having hands like ace-7 of spades, king-10 of spades, or queen-jack of spades. Plus, I think I can somewhat credibly rep an 8 here. If I'm just trying to get ace and king highs to fold, I don't need to go too big. I make it $165 to go, and my opponent goes into the tank. Definitely not good. I was hoping for a snap fold, so it seems like he has 1 pair. Maybe he's knit rolling me with like jacks or queens or something. But after 45 seconds, he sticks in the call. I show the jack 10 for the bluff, and he turns over 9-7. Kind of a questionable call in my opinion, but you got to remember, people aren't driving an hour to fold to some aggro 20-something-year-old who's already shown down a bunch of bluffs. It's also not the greatest bluff in the world. You really don't want to have the jack of clubs here because you're blocking auto folds from the backdoor flush draw as well. Overall, I'll give this bluff a fold pre out of 10 because I never should have been in this hand in the first place. Yeah, learn from me. Don't play jack 10 offsuit. It's just trouble.
Straight flush draw hand 2 pair.
After that bluff didn't get through, I'm not going to lie, I felt a little bit of tilt creeping in, so I decided to stand up before I dusted off my entire stack. Once I felt the heat from my face disperse into the air, I knew I was ready to play some poker. I sat down. A few hands later, I get dealt the beautiful 8-7 of clubs. Action folds to me in the low jack, and I open to $10. The button quickly 3-bets up to $35. The big blind makes a call, and I'm playing about 200 to 250 big blinds deep with the button, and around 175 big blinds deep with the big blind. So when you're playing this deep, suited connectors go up a lot in value. With that in mind, we're off to a flop of ace-5-6 rainbow. The big blind checks, I check to the aggressor, and interestingly, he checks back. The turn's an offsuit 3, bringing in the full rainbow, so don't have to worry about any flush draws completing on the river. The big blind now leads out for $35. Facing this sizing, I think this is just an easy call. A raise doesn't accomplish much, and if I'm ever folding here, just take me behind the casino and shoot me. So, call, only option. The button makes a call as well. So, dealer, I'm thinking of a card. The dealer reads my mind. Bang, the 4 of hearts on the river. Just the most juiced card in the entire deck. Any deuce makes a straight, any 7 makes a straight, but I have the Omega straight all the way up to the 8, guys. So sick. What's even sicker is the big blind bets again, and pretty big, $85. I obviously have to raise, but the sizings are kind of weird in these multi-way pots. So the big blind has about $225 left after this raise, but the button has around $400. If I jam for $400 effective with the button, I'm afraid I'll scare away the big blind, who could be doing this with sets or 2x combinations. I settle on $225, leaving the big blind with like $70 to $80 behind. The button folds and the big blind snap calls. So he turns over 7x. I show the absolute nuts. It feels good, but also I think I lost out on some value. I think if I make it 300, try to stack the guy, I obviously get paid off. But in the moment, I wanted to ensure that I'd get called by 2x. Maybe left some money on the table here. Alright guys, that brings us to our final hand of the session. If you've made it this far, please like this video and subscribe. And also leave a comment. That way I can continue to make some absolutely either genius or brain dead plays and post it on YouTube for all to see. Alright, let's get into it. King 7 of diamonds in the small blind, facing 4 limps. This hand plays really well multi-way. I can always hit a king high flush, so I decide to go ahead and limp in. Psych, we are squeezing this motherfucker. We pump it up to $20, and only one of the limpers makes the call. The limper in question is the same guy that accused me of having a British accent, so needless to say, I'm putting on my poker try-hard pants for this hand. The flop comes the casual 7, deuce, 3, 2 diamonds. This flop is considered by many experts to be rather excellent when you squeeze the king 7 of diamonds. However, this is still a single raise pot out of position, and you know I don't really see bet in single raise pots out of position, but if there's ever a hand to do so, I think this might be the one. I have a low top pair, which benefits from protection, and I don't mind getting stacks in on this flop, obviously. But here, we're going to keep it simple, stick to the strategy. It's been working really well for me. My new friend, he thinks for a bit and checks back. So we're off to a turn, which comes the 3 of hearts. Should just be a brick. If he has 3x, I'll just go fuck myself. I still got to bet now. I make it $25 to go, and he quickly makes the call. Now, the river's an offsuit 10. Should generally be a brick. I don't see him having much 10x in his range unless he has 10x of diamonds. I'm still pretty sure I have the best hand here, but I go for a check, and that's for 2 reasons. I don't think I'm going to get any worse hands to call, like maybe pocket 6s, but that's 6 total combinations. I think it's just too thin to go for value. And the second reason is I've seen this guy just make the most outrageous river bluffs when checked to, and I want to give him a chance to do that. He certainly doesn't disappoint, but I wasn't expecting the river overbet. He bets $100, and I'm like, fuck. What did I do? And at the end of the day, my plan was to check call, and the fact that he went so big made me think that it was a bluff even more. Earlier in the session, I saw him bet like $15 into 100 with the absolute nuts, and so if he's going super small for value, maybe he's going super big with his bluffs. I don't know. I stick it in. He looks shocked, and guys, I'm sure you guys noticed, but I'm playing at the Brook today, and the few sessions I've played here, I think there's some type of like old man slow rolling fraternity or whatever. I saw this guy absolutely slow roll some guy when he had the nuts and bet $15, and I didn't want to flip over my hand, even though he's like super hesitant to do so. Usually I just flip my hand over if they're like, you're good or whatever, but I was like, all right, what do you got, buddy? And he flips over queen 6 of diamonds. So he was bluffing. I had a good read, and yeah, like how I played the hand. Against a normal player, I'm not calling that, guys. But against this guy, player-dependent exploit, and a good way to end off the session. All right, everybody. I'm sorry for the hiatus. Hopefully there won't be another one anytime soon. Featured comment right here. I was in for 500, out for $1,490. So a profit of 990. Review of the session. I think I played pretty good. I'm sure you guys will let me know in the comments, but I think I played well for the most part. Ran super well, felt good. And yeah, see you guys very soon. Peace.